Hello, welcome to Web of Stories. My name is Melinda. It is Friday, which means it's 5 on Friday. And not only is it Friday, it's the first Friday in February. Say that 5 times fast. And I know February is Black History Month in the United States, and that's wonderful. And I know it's Valentine's Day, so everyone's lovey-lovey. But it's also my state of Oregon. It's our birthday month. So I am giving you a bonus. There's a bonus to this 5 on Friday. So I'm going to do my 5 on Friday, and then there's going to be a bonus afterwards. So don't turn off when I run out of 5 minutes. So let me start my timer here. Every time I say I should have this queued up, and I don't. Okay, today I am bringing you 5 books written by Oregon authors set in Oregon that I feel, for 4 of them, bring Oregon to life. The 5th one is nothing like Oregon. So if you watch my video, this one's not going to be a surprise because I talk about this one every chance I get. And that's Mink River by Brian Doyle. This is my all-time favorite book. This is set on the Oregon coast, which is one of my favorite places. And he just brings it to life so beautifully. The Oregon coast is an underrated gem. I hesitate to say it because I don't want everyone, there's already too many crowds there. But, you know, I have been to some of the other famous beaches. They do not compare to the Oregon coast. And this is just so beautiful. It is a little bit experimental. It's very poetic, so it may not be for everyone, but oh man, was it for me. The next one is actually a middle grade novel, and this is set in, it's set in Portland, and then it's set in Forest Park, which I believe is the largest park within the city limits in the country. But in this one, it's also the impassable wilderness. And this is Wildwood by Colin Malloy, and it's illustrated by his wife, Carson Ellis. This is the first in a trilogy. I do have the other 2 books, but I haven't read them yet. This is about Prue. Prue's with her little brother one day, and a murder of crows kidnaps him. That's quite a thing. And so she goes in search of her brother, and she has to enter the impassable wilderness, which we know is Forest Park, but was actually a magical land, and she has to save her brother from the English ivy. And if you are from Oregon, you know that is no idle threat. So this was so much fun. I do need to read the rest of them. I have them, I just haven't read them yet, but I really enjoyed this. My kids did too. Okay, the next one is Childfinder by Renee Denfield, which I thought I had a copy of, and I don't. This is the first in what I think is now 3 books. I think the 3rd book is coming out this year. And it's about a woman who has the ability to find children who have been kidnapped, disappeared, and she's sent to find a young girl who has gone missing. And we go back into her youth. She was orphaned. She was very fortunate that she was fostered by a very loving woman. And one thing I do appreciate about this book is it is not a foster care horror story. It's a positive, which I know is not, I'm not discounting that there are bad foster care situations, but we don't hear about the good ones. So I do like that. But this book mostly takes place in sort of not in Portland, it's out there, which I like that it brings other parts of Oregon to life. Now the 2nd book, which is The Butterfly Girl, is the gritty side of Portland, Oregon. Renee Denfield is a local author. She's also grew up in foster care and is a foster mother. So yeah, I loved this. It is hard to read. I will say that there are lots of triggers for this one. So be sure to check those out. So the next one is it's a debut novel that I just discovered this summer, and it is Body Grammar by Jules Oman. Running out of time. Jules Oman. And this is about Lou, who enters the world of I'm really simplifying the plot here, enters the world of high-class modeling, but she's really in love with her best friend back home in Portland. There's so many wonderful scenes of Oregon, not just Portland, but also the coast, Eugene, University of Oregon in there. And I just thought this was so wonderfully written. I can't wait to read more by Jules Oman. Finally, and this is the book that is not anything like Oregon. I was completely shocked to find out that this was an Oregon author because I swear I thought he was British. Yikes. And that is The House on the Cillian Sea. TJ Klune lives in Roseburg, Oregon, which is south of me. It's down I-5 south, a few hours. But I think everyone knows The House on the Cillian Sea. But when I read this, I thought England. This has got to be an English author. That just seemed so English to me. And the fact that he's from Oregon just tickled me. But this book, there's so many reasons why you should read it if you haven't already. I mean, who hasn't read this book? But this is just a book that will warm your heart. It will warm your heart. There is a sequel coming out to it this year, which I don't know if I'm going to read or not. I was really happy with this book just being this book, but we'll see. But I do highly recommend The House on the Cillian Sea. How did I do with time? 25 seconds. There you go. So those are 5 books that are written by Oregon authors and set in Oregon, and 4 of them feel like Oregon. Actually, 4 are set in Oregon. This is set on the Cillian Sea. But now I'm going to give you, and this is bonus, so I'm not going to time it, 5 Oregon authors that you should read. Prolific. And these are names that you know. So the first one is probably going to be the most famous of all Oregon authors. I grew up reading this author, and I'm sure almost everyone watching this video did, and that's Beverly Cleary. Beverly Cleary was born in McMinnville, Oregon, and grew up in Portland, or lived in Portland. She lived in the area where she set her Henry Huggins and Ramona books. So I think, read Beverly Cleary if you haven't already. She's great. The next one is one I actually haven't read, although I very much need to, and that's Ursula K. Le Guin. She lived, I believe, in Eugene, Oregon, and she, of course, is she was a grande dame of the science fiction world. I've heard so many people recommend her, and I have a friend who loves her books, so she's going to kind of direct me where I should start. Although if you know where I should start, put it down in the comments below. My daughter actually did start the Earthsea books, but she was reading it at school when she was in 5th grade, and she didn't go to school one day, and that ended up being the last day before quarantine. So she didn't get her book back for months, and then she totally forgot where she was, and she just hasn't picked it up again, but she says she's going to. The next one is not super prolific, but she's super well known, and that's Cheryl Strayed. Cheryl Strayed is from Minnesota, but she does currently live in Portland. She's very active here in the Portland literary scene. She's probably most famous for Wild, but my personal favorite is Tiny Beautiful Things, which is a collection of her advice columns. It has been turned into a play, which I did see in Portland. It was wonderful. If you ever get a chance to see it, go see that. And I think we all know who Cheryl Strayed is. Okay, and then the next one I also have not read. Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't think his writing is really my style, but I hear he's very good. And this Chuck Palahniuk, he is a Portland writer, prolific. He wrote Fight Club, first rule of Fight Club. He did write Fight Club. It's probably his most famous book. He's still in Portland. He's still writing. And if that's your kind of book, you've probably already read him, but if not, I would give it a try. And the last one I'm going to talk about is one that I've read one of his books, and I don't know why I haven't read any more, but he's pretty prolific, and that's Philip Margolin. He has a procedural crime series, and I read one of those. They are set in Portland. I do remember great Portland, sense of place in that. But I always say it's a great Portland sense of place, but then I always have to qualify it that Portland is not Oregon. Portland is Portland, and it is a small part of Oregon. So don't think that Portland is representative of the entire state, because it's not, but Portland is a wonderful place, and it has a lot of character, and he does bring that to life in his books, at least the one I read. So there's 5 Oregon books, and then 5 Oregon authors that you can explore more. Maybe if you have time in your reading schedule, you could do it this month, because it's Oregon's birthday month. We're going to be, oh crap, I forgot, 1858, I think was our year. It's on the flag. I should know this, and every year I get it wrong. I'm going to put, it's on the flag. Anyway, thank you very much. That's my 5 on Friday for this week. And be sure to check out Suey at Suey's Book Banner, because she's the one who started 5 on Friday. I'm actually filming this beforehand, so I don't know what she's doing this week. I think she might be doing kind of what I did last week, which means you have to go and see what I did last week, which was my most unhinged 5 on Friday. Anyway, thank you very much. Like, subscribe, join my Discord if you like. Information down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.